And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Topfmoney from GGC Guardians, their beta group. Guardians, what's happening, you guys? All right, so he is good in arena, both in regular and ships. He's doing great. I mean, he's #1 in fleet arena. He places #1 in regular arena. He's using the almighty triple cleanse team, which is just a staple now in this existing meta. What he really wants to know about is what characters should he kind of focus on for the future, for anything that would help be meta resistant, or characters that could kind of be utilized in any meta. So I'm going to give him a suggestion of 6 characters to farm, and then he also wants to know about the heroic AAT, what phases, what should he be using in each phase. So I'm going to give him a group of characters for each phase that he should be working on. All right, now I know there's a lot of team opportunities when it comes to phase 1, but really Jedi are tried and true. You already have your Jedi really, really high, and so this is what I would suggest. Now, you can play around with your leader to see how durable your team is. If you find your team is not making it to the countdown timer and through all 15 rounds, then you'll want Ayla as the lead. But if you can make it through with General Kenobi as the leader all the way through the 15 countdown timer, then I would get General Kenobi in there. And the reason for that is General Kenobi just makes everybody more durable with the extra health and defense and whatnot. So I would definitely recommend using General Kenobi. Plus, anytime somebody procs a healing, such as Ahsoka Tano can heal the team, it will cause a mass attack by everybody, and that's pretty cool. Plus, he has a mass attack that he has as one of his abilities. So there's just a lot of damage you can do to General Grievous, and with that mass attack, you just very well might call in Jedi Knight Anakin, who can put down that health and buff immunity on General Grievous, which you need. So for that, I would recommend a General Kenobi lead, at least try it, but you're going to have to get, obviously, your General Kenobi up to 7 stars for the heroic. You're at 5 stars, gear 11, you've got 2 more star levels. It's probably going to be a month or 2 before you get them to 7 stars. So in the meantime, use your Ayla Secura, and then you're going to use your Yoda, Qui-Gon Jinn, Jedi Knight Anakin, and Ahsoka. Basically, your top 5 minus your 5-star General Kenobi. But when you get General Kenobi up, you're going to use him as lead, or at least try him. You'll still use Ayla Secura. You're going to use your Qui-Gon Jinn, your Jedi Knight Anakin, but instead of Yoda, even though he's amazing, you're going to replace him with Ahsoka Tano. She can heal the team. She can do 30k on her special, ability, which is way more than Yoda can do on any of his abilities. And she has that critical hit immunity and some of the other abilities to speed her up because of Jedi Knight Anakin. So definitely would recommend your top row of those top 6 Jedi. When you get General Kenobi, use him. If not, or when you're waiting on him, just use the next 5 with Ayla as your leader. So you already kind of have your phase 1 figured out. Phase 2, of course, I'm going to actually recommend your Rebels for phase 2. I'm going to recommend that you play around with your lead, that you used a Jyn Erso lead, or you could play around with a Wedge lead. Wedge is going to give you more damage. Jyn Erso is going to give you more viability. Just like I suggested in the previous video, or in the previous section with phase 1, try General Kenobi when you get him 7 stars and see which one lasts longer and does more damage. Same is true with this. Play with your Wedge and Jyn and see which one you're going to be able to get more damage. If you can get through all the timers with a Wedge lead, the 15 countdown timer, then I would use a Wedge lead, because that's your goal, is to get through all of it and get the additional damage. But if you're dying before that countdown timer is done, then I would use Jyn as the lead, because she'll give you the durability to get through it. And then I would use, of course, your Wedge, your Biggs, Chirrut, and Baze. So Wedge and Biggs, Chirrut, and Baze are going to be the 4 staples, which are in your top row. And then, of course, Jyn Erso. Now, if you're not going to use Jyn Erso as a lead, and you're only going to use Biggs, Wedge, Chirrut, and Baze, you can either use Jyn Erso as your 5th, as a non-lead, or you can use Lando. Both do an AoE. Lando AoE does a whole lot more damage, but Jyn Erso in her AoE can revive the dead. Now, with Chirrut and Baze, you probably won't need that revive, but if someone was to be lost in round 3 or 2 and you're getting close and you want to revive them for a little extra damage, Jyn might just be the way to go. Let's move on to phase 3. Okay, so one of the teams that a lot of people are common with is an Emperor Palpatine led team for this. Use Emperor Palpatine. You're going to use Darth Vader, TIE Fighter Pilot, Royal Guard, and Shore Trooper. So essentially your top 5 of Empire. It's an Empire team for Phase 3, and it's not a bad team at all. A lot of people use them. I know a lot of people use Chief Chirpa as a lead to get that, but then they only do his leadership ability. He dies. They don't get a whole lot of damage. With this, Emperor Palpatine as lead, he can still, if you get him fast, can still put quite a few shocks down on the ad robots, especially if you go stun first, then start shocking. And TIE Fighter Pilot goes crazy underneath him, and Darth Vader can do a triple turn underneath him with all of the debuffing that he is capable of doing as well. And Shore Trooper and Royal Guard, Shore Trooper can do the critical hit immunity and heal the entire team and be there as a very big tank. And Royal Guard, same thing, can help prevent Emperor Palpatine from dying and then give Emperor Palpatine that extra turn he needs to heal himself. So an all-Empire team is really, really fun. You just really want a very fast Emperor Palpatine and TIE Fighter Pilot. Now, another variant of this would be a Sith/Empire team. So you would still use your Royal Guard and your Shore Trooper, just like in the previous team, as your double tank combo, but you would add Darth Nihilus, Darth Vader, and Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and Darth Nihilus. Now, Darth Vader and Darth Nihilus are both Sith, and what this is going to do with the Darth Vader lead is once the dots, the damage over time, go over the ad's heads, they're going to stay there, and every time they take a turn, they just end up killing themselves through that the debuffing. And the reason for Boba Fett is obviously if you're going to debuff everybody crazy like that with a Darth Vader lead, you're going to want someone to be able to take advantage of that, which Boba Fett's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And then of course Darth Nihilus does his insta kill and his cooldown ability increase. The insta kill will do 100,000 damage towards the main robot when he hits it. So he's going to do quite a bit of damage. Darth Vader with his Culling Blade can do quite a bit of damage. So with Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and Darth Nihilus, those 3 damage dealers all can get, between 200 to 350, 400,000 damage between each one of them. And that stacks up pretty quickly in Phase 3. Phase 3 is not a very huge damage dealing phase, and so this is going to be as good as the next. Now, of course, Phase 4, you've got clones and you've got Leia, so you're going to do Zodi team where you're going to have Commanders Cody and you're going to Zeta him, which you have, and you're just going to take and you're going to put in Leia into this. You can take Rex out and put Leia in here. And so you just need a really fast Cody. That's the only individual you need to mod really fast, and yours is actually modded correctly. You did a really great job of putting on the right mods and speed and things like that. So that is really good because you wanted him fast. And of course Leia there, she'll keep in stealth, but she's going to be able to keep them from dying. You just have to make sure you time her right to make sure that everybody has buffs when the plane comes overhead and drops all those bombs. So anyway, clones and Leia would be the suggestion that I would go with for Phase 4. So now that you got your Jedis for Phase 1, your Rebels for Phase 2, your Sith or Sith and Empire combo, or an Empire team for Phase 3, and Phase 4's Jedi clones, I want to give you a few characters that are going to be meta resistant for the long haul. Of the top 6, number 1 is B2. You don't have him 7-starred, you don't have him more than Gear 7, and you don't have any mods on him or his attacks and abilities up, so you've never got to fully realize what he's capable of. He definitely can help you every day in Galactic War. Anytime you hit that node you just can't get through. He's also really great in the current meta with Ahsoka, who's just now starting coming on, the a Fulcrum character who's just now coming into the game in the arena. He can basically completely nullify her by getting rid of all of the buffs very quickly, and so he is just an excellent character. He works really well against Chirrut and Baze, taking away all of their buffs and then putting buff immunity over. There's a lot of people on my shard that run him. Anytime they see me put Chirrut and Baze in, they put their B2 in. It's a great direct counter to any of that. Number 2 is Death Trooper. Death Trooper is an excellent character. You only have him 3-star, but he's very farmable, easily farmable in Cantina now, so you could get him up and get him up really fast, gear him up, do his abilities up. He can dispel, kind of like B2. He can increase cooldowns like Darth Nihilus, so he's kind of like a Darth Nihilus B2 combination, which is amazing. And he also has a semi-insta-kill kind of thing, where once the opponent loses a single character, you can target, hit somebody else, put a death mark on them, and the next time they get hit, essentially they're dead. So he's an excellent character for the current and future metas. All right, I know I'm going to catch a little bit of flack for Sunfac, but he was phenomenal. Literally, in my opinion, the best tank in the game. Maybe within the top 3 if you wanted to count Baze over him, because I know Baze is so good with his synergy with Chirrut. But he lost a little bit of his usability when Darth Maul came out, and the reason for that is his days. Darth Maul's days made him less relevant, but Darth Maul, while he's not going to go away, he is definitely going to become less prevalent, and when there's less Darth Mauls, you're going to find Sunfac creeping back in again and becoming useful again, because once he can counter and all of that with his countering Dispel on basic, his offense down, his turn meter reduction, all sorts of stuff that Sunfac does, he just becomes a top 3 tank all over again. Daze is really his kryptonite, and so you still want to finish him. You got him 7 stars, gear 9, so you want to make sure you can finish him off and get him, to gear 11, so you can utilize him in the future, because he will have a place in the future meta. All right, number 4 might surprise a lot of people, but it's actually I'm a Gundai. I'm a Gundai is an amazing Jedi. You have a great Jedi team for Phase 1. You can run Ayla, you can run Qui-Gon Jinn, Jedi Knight Anakin, Ahsoka. You can even run your Yoda, but with General Kenobi being at 5 stars, you may want a heavier damage dealing leader than Ayla. Ayla as a leader makes them more tenacious, helps them survive more, but she doesn't, as a leader, really provide any additional damage, where I'm a Gundai does. And so if you're finding that you're surviving all the way through the 15 rounds of the encounter and you're looking at doing more damage, I'm a Gundai is the way to go. You're going to get him up from where you have him now, max him out, and put him in as your leader. You're going to see the amount of counters is crazy. Every time one of the ad robots shoots, everybody will counter. They'll be stunned or killed, and then you can focus on General Grievous. It's a very fun, probably the most fun team I personally have ever ran, just because of the amount of ridiculous counters that they do. It's just super fun. So he's number 4. Number 5 and 6 surprisingly comes out of your Sith, and because you do spend money and you've got a lot of characters and you've got many of them maxed out, I wanted to bring to your attention a couple of Sith you have not paid attention to yet. One is Savage and one is Sith Assassin, and that combo of Savage and Sith Assassin can literally be placed into any team. Sith keeps herself clean and keeps herself stealth, and Savage can cleanse her and keep her alive, and she can hit straight to health, and he can kill anyone that's at 50 or less health. So the combo literally is kind of like a 2-hit combo, kind of like Biggs and Wedge, where they are as effective as a Biggs and Wedge combo in taking individuals out. They're wonderful, and you can literally place the 2 of them into any team as a pair. So Savage you have at level 1, and of course Sith you've got 6-star, level 70, gear 7. So I would recommend getting your Savage and Sith Assassin up. These are just fun projects for the side, but I know that they're both going to become very relevant, not just now, but in the future as well, as a combination. So I said B2, Death Trooper, Sunfac, I'm a Gundai, Sith Assassin, and Savage. Those 6 are really going to help take you to the next level because of who you have unlocked and whatnot. And of course, for the Heroic AAT, you've got excellent ideas, but get that I'm a Gundai up so you can do additional damage in Phase 1. As always, make sure you keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.